Yeah, you know what time it is. Time for another march as we go overtime every time. Marching with yours truly from downtown Montreal. We often go to the mountain, Today, gonna put my gloves on and we already on the march. A few hours, I guess, more than 2 hours already on the march. Left it was about 4:30 or so, maybe 4 o'clock. What time was it? Something like that when I left. I gotta check the bills, double check, but it was about past 4. It was about 4:18 or so. So shoveled some snow this morning, and here I am downtown Montreal for another first Tuesday of 2025. First Tuesday today. It is the 7th. So we rock and roll as we go. We went to the mountain already 3 times in 2025. So I said for the first time, 2025, we're gonna head south towards the river, and we're gonna go towards the gymnasium. Special North Americans Unite, Dragon versus Trump, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, philosopher, artist, independent athlete, independent mystic, and geopolitical, theoretical analyst and theorist with Asperger's, auctioning everything that I'm wearing and have been wearing. Always with gratitude, gotta commence. Gotta be grateful, thankful for my rent paid, electricity bill paid, and you know, I saw somebody holding hands. Couples, see somebody holding hands over there. So that always gives me some hope. Please turn your heads left and right before you cross the street. I got a few seconds, so that gives me a little bit of hope, you know, to see some of that LOV. I'm a androgynous pansexual myself, open for business and pleasure, independent, aspie artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical analyst, and theorist, encouraging all to work out, train, exercise. Working out, training, and exercising has been, is, and will be my medicine and therapy of choice. And we're gonna go now towards, cut like a snake, go straight south. I don't want to deviate into much populated centers in St. Catherine, approaching St. Catherine, a very important street in Montreal here, Hawk Island, Montreal. And you know, I wake up morning and I do geopolitical theoretical analysis, and that's what I do, revisions 24/7, and it's getting heated up, and with the Trump incoming Trump administration, and have been and will continue to challenge Donald Trump to a boxing match on the Canadian-US border. On my backpack, got those red gloves gifted from my anonymous friend. If I make $1 million, $1 trillion, $1 billion, I'm gonna give 50% half, and I started challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match ever since 2018, when Donald Trump imposed tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, and now with the new threats of 25%, say no to the tariffs. North American Union parallel to the European Union, security economic, but on a public-private partnership based, not only for a few, and not only for the millionaires, Wall Street, not for the stock traders only, but for the butchers, the bakers, the construction workers, the bus drivers with it. Public bus transit, I gotta give them some salutations, you know. They're there in the corner doing a little bit of bus driving, so gotta salute them there, bus drivers, public bus drivers, and of course all those involved in the production, distribution of food, and all those now, you know, warehouse workers, those grocery store clerks with that, and all those, of course, involved in the production, distribution of food. Here I am on Hawk Island, Montreal, St. Catharines. Grateful, thankful, my rent's paid my rent, paid my electricity bill, got food and coffee, and open for business, laying the foundations for the kingdom, the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom, first and foremost, with 718 trillions of kisses. I got trillions of kisses credited from the forgotten goddess GODDSS. I credit my surviving COVID 2020 February, March, and surviving being depressed and suicidal, and surviving, of course, so many things in my life, now being just financially stressed, now being just financially stressed, you know. We gotta get it for those butchers and the bakers and the cooks and those, of course, getting on the information to get a little bit of action done, you know. I wanted to pass by there, but it's of course on the mark to left to get it on the go, so it's sometimes which we gotta initiate ourselves, you know, fitness journey. I didn't have a gymnasium, created my own workout training program system, lost between 80 and 93 pounds, 80 or 93 pounds, 80 or 93 pounds, you know. But here I am today on the march, going to see who's there present at the public gymnasium, taking advantage that we have a public gym, which of course was founded by workers and got to be maintained and upkeep. It is our individual right. Well, it is kind of a privilege, you know. It is kind of a privilege. It is kind of a privilege. We gotta get it in the public privileges. It's like a public-private partnership, which we gotta do. And of course, I gotta upkeep. And I gotta do my part. If I go there, then I'm just gonna go see who's there and see how it goes, you know. Cause I'm on the march. Gotta stretch a little bit, but nonetheless, public gyms. We gotta build more of them and encourage all the workout, train, exercise. Encourage all to workout, train, exercise. You know, so that's what it is with that. And gotta get on that XYZ, you know, gotta get it on that XYZ, you know. And my brothers and sisters, you know, for the bakers, the butchers, the nurses, the doctors, the grocery store clerks, we gotta get it on a little bit of LOV, you know. Those nurses. Think about the nurses and the daycare workers, you know. The daycare workers who changed some diapers today. I think I'm gonna go that way. I'm gonna turn already because even if I wait there at the light, it's gonna go into more population and more cars. So I'm trying to be keeping it as fit as possible. And due to the fact that it's starting a bit of snow, I gotta watch out for my film because of course it's on the snowy side. So I'm just gonna turn it on the other way. And somebody wearing that red, my favorite color. Oh, that's a nice red. Wow, that's my favorite color. Look at that. It's actually red and red inside, and wow, that's a nice, it seems orange on the camera, but it's actually red to the light. It's actually very red, kind of scarlet red, my favorite color, but it also looks a bit on the orange side. So whatever the case may be, due to the camera how it is, it looks more on the orange side. So here I am gonna go to see who's hitting that gym, public gym, you know, and encourage all, of course, to get it on the gymnasium and get it on the guest. And you know, it's something which we gotta do ourselves. We gotta be on the banal, you know, and just get it, rock and roll with it. And rock and roll is my obsessive interest, and it's 24/7, you know. Rock and roll with yours. Do you want to hear some of that rock and roll? I go into rock and roll trances. For the truckers on the road, watch it, there's a snow. For the truckers on the road, watch it, there's some snow. For the truckers on the road, watch it, there's a little snow. Gotta get those groceries, those eggs, and that milk, and that butter and that cheese. With a sausage for the family, that's the deal. Mexico, Canada, US, North Americans unite. 24/7. My dream is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership across the North American Collective Civilizational Complex, across North America. We gotta get it on the do, and that's what we gotta get doing, man. And we gotta get it for the doers, you know, and the butchers and the bakers and all those, of course, involved in the production, distribution of food. And that's what it is with that. And I love seeing me some of that red, and I see it to my right side, now I see it to my left side, to my right side, and left side, to my right and left side, you know. And I'm gonna transverse here to my right side and left side, and you know, one wearing red to my right and left, you know. And that's how it is. We gotta go deep, and here I gotta go by the tunnel best tunnel. And one of my brothers and sisters maybe pledge your allegiance to our family, I don't know. Could be just wearing red like that, not necessarily as a sign of being family. Pledge your allegiance to our family. Black, white, brown, North Americans, we got each other coast to coast, you know. And one of them was black, the other was white, but we gotta work on it together, you know, to be FREE. To ensure secure freedom, got to be insured. Secured freedom, got to be insured, secured. I mean, if I'm not to work on racism, because sometimes we have it in ourselves, eh? Sometimes we're not even aware. We have subconscious, because we might have lived certain individual expressions or certain circumstances where a certain member who looks different than us has a certain appearance, and we might make generalization and stereotypes and associations, you know. So we might have been on that. So that's something that exists. So if we are to ensure freedom, we gotta ensure freedom, you know. So that's what it is. And here I'm in the public, so I gotta watch myself with my Asperger's, aka HFA. Asperger's. Yeah. Well, we got a LOV, those construction workers. Construction workers, gotta love them, man. Because construction workers, they build. Public works, aqueducts. And we gotta build more houses again. I will to build a forgotten goddess temple. And forgotten goddess temple, you know, the forgotten goddess temple and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. The North American Imperial People's Coliseum, the North American Imperial People's Coliseum, and you know, I gotta see LOV to the construction workers who build the apartment buildings, public workers who pick the garbage yesterday's public sanitation, pick up the garbage, pick up the compost, pick up the recycling, pick up, of course, all the things that need to be picked up on the Thursday. I got that compost, you know, got the compost on Thursday. So that's what it is with that. And here, you know, to build the bridges in the North American civilizational complex, North America, we gotta say some LOV now to the public workers who change those aqueducts. See, that says cement and steel, brains and muscle to build all the highways. The dams here in Hydro-Quebec dams, we got 63, all that goes our electricity from 5 or 6 even states all the way 120, one-fifth, which is the equivalent of 20%, goes all the way to the Manhattan Island from Hydro-Quebec. Imagine all that work over the decades. Here the slide, here over the decades, here the slide, you know. Some kind of love, Stasi. Is that Stasi from the German secret Eastern Germany GDR secret police? Some kind of love, Stasi. Love, yeah, some kind of love makes me think of a rock and roll song. But Stasi makes me think of the GDR. Stasis were a notorious secret police. Oh, for more than 25, from about 1947 and then till 1989. So for a long time, 44 years in the GDR, 1989, about Stasi, the GDR, German Eastern Secret Soviet Police, you know, and its evolution. And sure, security and service got to be liberty. Liberty is new under the sun, Mr. Solomon, King Solomon. Freedom is new. Here in North America, my brothers, of course, they found to work on different things, racism, you know. I make LOV to black, white, rainbow, men, women. I am pansexual, so I'm open to kiss on the table for against racism, and for other things, I put what I got the most first and foremost. Kisses, you know, kisses. See, I dropped my coffee I had in the pocket. I wanted to put it into recycling. I heard it fall, pop. I heard it fall, pop. So I turned back and I said, I'm not going to leave it there for pollution, you know, because we got flora, fauna, and we got to try a little bit of public workers putting it up in the compost, the recycling. You know, we can do better in many things, myself included. Far from being perfect, you know, I live with my Asperger's, aka HFA, high functioning autism. I mean, I suffered, struggled, and being part of a minority, you know, being mental divergent is not a mental illness. It is a neurodevelopmental mental psychic condition, which is not a mental illness. It is just that we see things in a different way. We're different. I'm different for neurotypicals. I'm part of a minority, less than 1%, estimate as 0.44%. So maybe not even 1 out of 300. Maybe not even 1 out of 300, maybe not even 1 out of 300. 0.44% estimated people in the world have Asperger's, also known as HFA, high functioning autism. Got to give a salutation to my anonymous friend, who wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. I said I wrote a rock and roller. She wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. It wasn't my friend because of the money, because I never had any. You know? So HFA, high functioning autism, Asperger's, I live with it in the past more than 44 months, because I've been diagnosed for many years, more than 7 years, and with Asperger's, many people, I didn't want to accept it, you know, stigma, and I live with it. I have to manage my characteristics, because it's not really symptoms. Symptoms is more for a mental illness, while characteristics are more what it is for the manifestation of the Aspie condition. So I've been manifesting it, and you know, it's been a tough road of acceptance and working on my neurodivergence, and lost a lot of employment opportunities, had different jobs, works, few months, a few weeks, few months lived, a few weeks, and you know, then I learned, I accepted I have HFA, high functioning Asperger's, also known as Asperger's, also known as HFA, African autism. So I gotta work on my condition. Sometimes Aspies can seem rude or direct, or we don't mean to offend. The majority of Aspies is just that we're less able. We have this, some call it a disability in certain social settings, and understanding certain social dimensions and taking things literal sometimes, which of terms of instructions or whatever the case may be, and we have certain difficulties, but we can be very strong and efficient, and whatever the case may be in certain things which we have our special interests. And of course, special interest, I do not use the connotation and the terminology obsessive, because obsessive interest is more of a negative terminology, while special interest, where we're super focused, super concentrated, super focused, super concentrated, super in, super dedicated and concentrated, when we're involved in those activities which we are super, our special interests, also known as obsessive interest. And my holy trinity is geopolitics, 24/7 from the morning till the night, 24/7 the analysis of geopolitics, the analysis of geopolitics, the analysis of geopolitics, the analysis of geopolitics, geopolitical analysis and theorizing, geopolitical theoretical analysis, and sports, fitness, dancing is my favorite sport. Dancing is my favorite fitness activity, and dancing is my favorite sport and fitness activity. And rock and roll, that's my trinity. Well, dancing is fitness and a sport for me. Dancing is a sport and is my favorite fitness activity. Well, now when I march sometimes with my head, with my hands and my feet, I bust a dance move. Whenever I hear music, I dance. I can dance for all, you get the Adrian Hanna Dragon, 50-50, androgynous pansexual aspie artist, athlete, philosopher, geopolitical, theoretical, honest, and theorist, and mystic, who believes in reincarnations, who does sun salutations. And now we got that moon up above. Moon's gonna be full soon on the 13th, and today's the 7th, so we got 13 days counting on the clock till the official inauguration of Donald Trump's second administration. And the main geopolitical event is 25% tariffs, 25% tariffs, 25% tariffs, 25% tariffs. 25% is a quarter. 25% was a threat that's devastating and it can be very painful. And I really joined politics because I just came out of my being depressed and suicidal in 2017. In August, went to BC, British Columbia, Vancouver, and then I came back and Vancouver and went to Nova Scotia, to Nova Scotia, and crossed Canada coast to coast in August and September. So crossed Canada coast to coast in the summer 2017. So it's been more than 7 years now, and that event in my life made me establish a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians, made me establish a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians, a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians. Made me establish a strong esprit de corps with my fellow Canadians. I'm gonna go check that out. Turn my head left and right before I cross the street. So after 2017, after the summer when I crossed Canada coast to coast, and I got out of that event, changed my life. I made me realize how many things we have and many things to do, to see. Quebec, Canada, North America, and being a North American Quebecer, well, that's beautiful, but I don't have space. I think it's for donation, but my anonymous friend would love it, but I'm content. I have my underground room off some temple, and I'm content what have, but this is nice. Has a underground underneath there. It's a nice piece. Just gotta disinfect it, and kind of roll with it. But I guess I'm okay with what I have. Gotta be grateful, because I moved from a moldy place more than 7-8 years ago. I don't know exactly the year, but more than 7 years for sure. And I left a very moldy place. It was very moldy, and I have blackouts, retrograde amnesia, retrograde amnesia, Kind of have blackouts of memory, of my past. And I remember most of the past 7-8 years, and all my work which I've done in the past 7 years, and the work that I'm doing now today. Today's really all I got. It's January 7th. Please, with consent, hygiene, hug like you never hugged before. a whole period of football, gridiron, 15 minutes, quarters, 15 times 4, that's 60 minutes, or 20 minutes period of hockey, 20 minutes times 3, that's 60 minutes. Consent, hygiene, pledge your allegiance, daughter family. That's a 24/7 rock and roll song, and also with pledge your allegiance, daughter family, and we gotta get it on the do, and sometimes we just gotta go now and start our fitness journey. As I always say, my fitness journey begins today. Lost more than 80 to 93 pounds, created my own workout training program system back in 2019. Consequently, and in a paradoxical manner, I created it to go hand in hand with a World War III scenario. You heard that correct. And I got proof of work, 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 you know. So I got proof of work of that, and I got proof of work of that, and that's the proof of work with it, and that's what it is with that. So back then, of course, in 2019, I have, well, that gives me some hope. See, that's worth fighting for. Not just mayonnaise, billionaires, not just money. Those people holding hands there, you know, defending some LOV, because it's not all about fight. You know, if somebody not making LOV, you know, what are we fighting for to save civilization for? When Quebec, Canada, North America, you know, we're complex. We're a civilizational complex that is not totally divorced, but is distinct from Western civilization. That is not totally divorced, but is distinct from Western civilization. That is not totally divorced, but is distinct from Western civilization. So our complex is distinct, but not divorced from Western civilization. You know, complex is distinct, but not divorced from Western civilization. You know, so I gotta get it on the doers, the butchers, the bakers, the truckers, nurses, firefighters, LOV firefighters. Gotta send some love to the firefighters of North America. Canada Post, support the DRT workers, you know. We gotta get the North American Collective Workers Party. We gotta get the North American Collective Workers Party. We gotta get the North American Collective Workers Party. The North American Collective Workers Party. The North American Collective Workers Party. You know, that's what we gotta do. The North American Collective Workers Party, and yes, we gotta unite. The border gotta go. Border gotta go. Border gotta go. We gotta integrate, but in a manner as equals. Canadian, true north, strong and free, but it's not just strength and freedom. And my brothers and sisters in the USA, I was born in the USA 3 times, once as a woman, twice as a man in a previous incarnation. Another mystic who believed in reincarnation is a great general known as George Patton. He wrote Through a Glass Darkly, one of my favorite poems. He didn't mention that about 2,600 years ago in a previous incarnations he was born a woman and was actually my wife. George Patton was actually my wife in a past incarnation. So I've served twice in the same U.S. Army, 156 years apart. It's not all about home of the brave and home of the free. So if we ain't got so LOV, like that matches with Canada, true north, strong and free. True north, Canada, strong and free. Strength, yes. Freedom gotta be ensured. But we cannot base everything on strength. We gotta have some loving, some understanding, some soft, some, you know, some of that love. We cannot base just on strength. As much as I am a geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist, and I know geopolitics and the ideologies, philosophies of nation states, ideologies, regions, and civilizations to the best of the extent as a Quebecer, Canadian, North American, nonetheless, you know, that is the fact that fundamentally I'm a Quebecer, North American, Canadian, and through North, strong and free. My brothers and sisters, home of the brave, home of the free land, in the home of the brave, and the land of the free. And here, Canada, so you got strength and freedom equals bravery. We gotta put some love in, you know. Got some love. It's not all about money, and most of you know it. It's not all about money. Money is to buy, sell, you know. Buy, sell. It's farmers. Food security starts with the farmers and construction workers building more houses and social houses and complexes like this where people, citizens can go bathe. I should go give them some bathing, and we gotta get it for that love. And see, they are making some of that good swimming and they're having that good experience, an event. And my brothers and sisters, Quebecers, Canadians, North America, our family, and I would defend, coast to coast, ocean to ocean, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is for the XYZ, and that's what I gotta go. And I gotta give me some swimming also, and they're having a swim, and my sources are exercising, so that's good for you. That's worth defending, and yes, that's public. That's public for all. It takes a public-private partnership, It takes a public-private partnership. I gotta encourage you all to work out, train, exercise. Working out, training, exercising has been, is, will be my medicine and therapy of choice. And construction workers build buildings like this. I don't know when this was built. Probably more than 44 years ago. Probably. More than 44 years ago. Even more, but it's the construction workers, So that's what I gotta do. And here, Hydro-Quebec, and the butchers, the bakers, the nurses, the doctors, and grocery store clerks, And here, nobody's born a dragon. That's the motto of the Dragon Army. Nobody's born a dragon. That's the motto of the Dragon Army. I do it myself. With a surname dragon. Nobody's born a dragon. Not even with a surname. Myself, it took blood, sweat, and tears to get blood, sweat, and tears to turn that A into a no, So that's what it is with that, and that's what it is with that, and that's what it is for the doers now, And sometimes we just gotta turn it on the go and turn our heads left or right, before we cross the street. Sometimes the brakes malfunction, so I always gotta wait, I think he's letting me pass. Gonna wait, gonna go to the lights actually best. Gonna go to the lights. I made an assessment, and I think it's best. Although there's like a, it's kind of a pedestrian, but since of the snow, there's visibility, and I'm just gonna be prudent because I'm in the public, and in the public I got myself added responsibilities, duties, and obligations. I would have voted Joe Biden, Kamala, I would have voted Joe Biden, Kamala. I started challenging Donald Trump to a boxing match when in 2018, that's really when I started involved in politics because I was more on the sidelines, just independent, just coming out of my depression and dealing with my scars and past trauma, survived COVID and survived being attacked by surprise. Well, I thought that was it back then also. Hit my head and got a dislocated right arm, right shoulder, went to the hospital, replaced it, and it got put, I was put on some meds and I had my own psyllium pirate episode, and I thought that was it, I was like kind of in a coma, in a coma a few days, and I survived, and here I am. Grateful, thankful, looking at this beautiful evergreen. I'm a piece of dust, although lustful. Sometimes love that BDSM switch, black men, black women, white men, white women, black, bright, rainbow. I'm androgynous, pansexual, and that's what it is with that. And that's what I gotta go doing and see how small I am compared to this evergreen. How small, I don't need to spy on me. Secret services of China. Don't cross the ocean. The Pacific is too large. Secret services, police, secret spies of the PLA, People's Liberation Army, spies of China. Don't need to cross the Pacific. Spies of Russia. Don't need to cross the Atlantic to the east or Pacific to the west. Spy yours too. I'm androgynous, pansexual. I like my BDSM switch. Now I think I've been open about it for more than 7 years. And that's what it is with that. So that's what it is. And my DRT theory best now. The Death Fusion theory, for the creation of the UE. And we gotta get that centrism. And for the cleaners, cleaners, a little bit of cleaning, I get dirty and I get back clean. Sometimes I've been a mess. Sometimes I still am a mess. There certain things, and sometimes I've been a mess. I am a mess. Sometimes I've been a mess. I am a mess. Gotta get back dirty, get back clean. I healed a lot. Lost between 80 and 93 pounds. Created my workout training program system with my Asperger's, neurodivergence, and scars, and suffering, and trauma. And today, financially stressed. Today, financially stressed. Today, I'm just financially stressed. Beside that, I'm joyous, and I'm curious to see who made it. Gonna cross by here, turn a little bit of that zigzag, I crossed the city for many years, one foot in the streets, one foot in the libraries, read tens of thousands of books, written tens of thousands of pages of geopolitical analysis, theory, initiatives, which I've been communicating online, discourse matter, specifically the theories, theoretics, and initiatives which are fundamentally the public-private partnership. When I say call all willingly loving, pledge your allegiance to our family, blah, 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 to the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. It is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership to the dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom. The dancing goddess and the dragon kingdom is fundamentally a call for a public-private partnership. And my brothers and sisters, we can't just based on strength. I understand fully the doctrine, the ideology, peace through strength. Peace through strength, I understand it. Peace through strength, but no way that I'm going to say 100% with it. Because that peace through strength, we got to have some peace through LOV and some understanding. And it gotta be. It has to be counterbalance. It has to be the counterbalance. If there's no counterbalance to that, we're disharmonious, and I am myself dysfunctional. Some say it's a disability in certain ways, in certain things. Yes, my HFA, high functioning autism, also known as Asperger's, I am less able. In certain things, I am mediocre. In certain things, I am so-so. In certain things, I am average. I'm so-so. I'm mediocre. Now when it comes to geopolitics, that's my kingdom, my realm, my domain. I know the revisions, and I know the ideologies. I know philosophies. I know the history, 20th century specifically. But as much as my knowledge is related, and my daily activity and routines and rights and routines for more than 7 years, the routines revolve around geopolitics, sports and fitness, dancing being my favorite sport, and fitness activity that I prefer is dancing. What I'll do now is march, dancing, rock and roll with it. That trinity is 24/7. My work for many years involved surrounding in that, and that is my work as an independent. Although financially stressed, I'm always open for different business opportunities and employments I had during COVID, which I loved during COVID. But misunderstandings, and a lot of people, some more know what Asperger's is, HFA is, and they know that I have certain characteristics and can seem weird, but I'm different, and I am different. I guess I am different, if you want put that appellation. But regardless, I created an effective, efficient, simple workout training program system, and for where we are now in the 21st century, many of my ideas, initiatives, and call for the public-private partnership, fundamentally all my initiatives are public-private partnership. Fundamentally all my initiatives are public-private partnership. Fundamentally all my initiatives are PPP based, public-private partnership based for the North American Union. Similar parallel to create a common passport like the European Union, a common currency, and integrate the security and service forces, and build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum on the Canadian-US border. The Canadian-US border build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and House of the Dragon, pyramid, scarlet, crimson and scarlet are basically shades of red, my favorite color. And the Forgotten Goddess, something that I will to say, goddess, the Forgotten Goddess temple, the Forgotten Goddess temple, the Forgotten Goddess, GODDSS. And I'm going to credit my survival of trauma, of being attacked by surprise, or COVID. I thought it was like death, pestilence, and disease. When I had it, it was like death, pestilence, and disease. Like death, pestilence, and disease. It sounds like a death hardcore metal song, Death, pestilence, and disease sounds just like that, like a hardcore metal song. like a hardcore metal song, you know, like a hardcore metal song, like a hardcore metal song, you know. So that's what it is with that, and we gotta get it for the hardcore death metal, which I survived. I'm gonna credit it to the goddess, you know, to the GODDSS, to the goddess, to the goddess, the goddess. That's what it is, you know. So to the goddess, to the goddess, goddess. And those buildings are built new. I think during COVID, most of them, more than 44 months, almost 45. I think now they're complete, and I will to buy a house. If I make some money, I'm gonna give 50% for every million, every billion, every trillion to my anonymous friend who wasn't my friend because of the money. Thanks again for the books on Asperger's, HFA. Really appreciate it, and I'm grateful where I am now, where I live now. I just gotta go see. So I was actually gifted again by my anonymous friend who deserves to be 7 times richer than Celine Dion. I want to see there. I got a sticker with the eye. So I just saw the eye symbolism there. Eye. Wow, that's an eye. All of mine has is not just black and white. It has some color in it, so I like that combination. Oh, there's another one. So now I'm gonna cross on the other side, turn my head left to right before I cross the street, and I wanna check that one also. Oh yeah, I love it. You can come see a museum here, Museum Imaginario. It's kind of cool. I gotta come. Co-working guy is nice. Oh, nice. I gotta come here once, but now I'm budgeting, you know. I'm budgeting because I'm financially stressed, but please give some charity millionaires, billionaires. I wish I would have had 44 billion. I would have taken 10%. 10% of 44 billion would have been 4.4 billion. 4.4 billion. 10% of 44 billion would have been 10% would have been 4.4 billion. 4.4 billion would have been 10% of 44 billion after Trump got elected on the 6th. On the 6th, you know, that's what I would have done. I would have taken 10%. I would have started giving it across North America. 50,000. I said, this is your second chance. This is my redemption. I said, I send some love to our first responders. Send some love, LOV. To our first responders, and go work out. I always love when I see people working out. Good. Let's work out. It's nice. I always love when I see fitness, so I encourage mass financing of fitness via my DRT theory, the debt row fusion theory. I always love when I get a little bit on that working out, training and exercising there. That exercise, you know, with a full moon, and we gotta get it on that go, you know. We gotta get it on the do, man, you know. This takes doing, takes action. As much as I can philosophize, theorize, you know, it takes some doing. So we need to start building the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and that's what it is. Another working out fitness, and you know, sometimes I just don't see that. My vision gets blurred. For some reason. Of like after more, I think I have to go see an optometrist because like after 10 meters, it kind of gets blurred a bit. And the other day I was walking with my friend, and she could read the letters that were kind of far, but I couldn't. So I think my vision is good, but then it kind of gets blurred. And sometimes I just stare at objects. I just stare at objects, you know. I just stare at certain objects. So that's what it is with that. That's what it is with that. And that's what we gotta get doing with that. And that's what we gotta get doing with that, you know. So it's something which we gotta be mindful of, you know, that we gotta get it on the doing. We gotta get it on the doing, you know, the doers, the thinkers, and it takes the being, also being. So it's always a balance, a harmony, which I don't claim to have. I'm working on it every day. I've been working on it for years. My Asperger's, HFA, high functioning autism is something which I gotta do, you know, something which I gotta do. Here, I gotta get on to doing, and I gotta salute firefighters, butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, and construction workers. LOV, you see, you got a nice dog park here. Poodles I compare, but other dogs I get kind of allergies, so got a nice dog park here, and we're close to downtown Montreal. So now I will to discuss the DRT, the debt fusion theory. My brothers and sisters, there's no way out of where we are now, out of this current situation with the public finances, but my DRT theory stands for debt or fusion theory. So there's no way out of a solution but my DRT theory or something very similar in parallel in consequence that resembles my DRT theory paradoxically. Why do I make that statement and pronounce myself as such? It's due to the fact that we now pay 46.5 billion. That's 1,000 million. A billion has 9 zeros. That's 1,000. That's 1,000 million, you know. So that's what we gotta get doing. You know. That's what we gotta get doing, you know. So in 2020-2021 fiscal year, we paid 20.3 billion. 20.3 billion double times 2 would have been 40.6. 40.6, right? 40.6. Now, the amount that we pay on the public debt is more than double. It's more than double. So it's more than double. Just on the public debt of Canada. So debt servicing, in other words, the interest that we pay has more than doubled, of course, due to COVID, in 3 years. So make that calculation in terms of the interest, only the interest paid on the debt, not the principal. Only the interest paid on the debt has more than doubled. From 20.3 billion, it went down from 46.5 billion, 46,000 million, from 20,000 million, because a billion has 9 zeros. A billion is 1,000 million. So it went from 20.3 billion, which is the equivalent of 20,000 million, to 46,000 million, just the interest in one fiscal year. Make this personal relationship, convert it to an individual as myself. Let's say I only pay, not only because it's more than 10% what I call for pudding, but I pay 11% interest. I don't have a credit card. I do not 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 have a credit card. You know, I do not have a credit card. I do not have a credit card. I have a line of credit. I have a line of credit. You know, I do have a line of credit. So I pay interest 11% on the debt. So no, yours truly, what I pay interest on the debt, that is 11%. So that is how much I pay interest, 11%. So let's say that in 2021, I paid $156 in interest, $156 in interest. I paid $156 in interest. That I paid $156 in interest. And 3 years later, now, from 156, it would have been my interest, not the principal that I would have paid, would have been from 156 to 333. So let's say it would have doubled, just like it doubled for the Canadian public debt. Let's say it would have been double. Right? If I would have went from $156 to now having to pay 333, that's a gym world. I wonder how much it is. I couldn't afford it anyways, but I'm going to see the public gym, but it looks like a nice one. I like the red and white together. I like the North American flag. Not the flag, correction, the North American. Wow, it's really big. The North American. Oh, you got boxing. The North American map. The map of North America. So imagine that personally, if I would have went from 156 to 333. From 156 double, that's more than double. So equivalent that to a personal ideation towards as individual citizens, you would have had to pay double just the interest on the public debt. So if your that wouldn't been double. If your salary would have not doubled, you know, if your salary would have not doubled, if your salary would have not doubled, then you would have had to cut, right? Cut. Because if the debt servicing, paying the interest, if the debt servicing, paying the interest doubles, then you would have had to cut some things, you know. You would have had to cut whatever. Coffee, Netflix subscription, coffee, Netflix subscription, whatever other case may be, you would have had to, because you cannot sustain. It's not sustainable. Just like our economy has not doubled, right? It only actually went in maybe negative, or grew by 1%, 2%. But the servicing of the debt doubled, more than doubled, from 20.3 billion to in 2021 to now 46. So as much as you will to argue, my DRT is the only solution and the sole solution. So I'm going to explain it now as much as I can, which due to Asperger's, we tend to utilize too much sophisticated academic, verbose and philosophical, linguistic and use of language which is not component or conducive to a more simplified explanation. So I'm going to try to be as simple as I can. So my DRT theory, debt refusion theory, contains in my theory monetary integration theory. And again, yes, paying the interest has doubled due to COVID, but of course, has doubled due to COVID, but of course, my DRT theory is the solution. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. My debt including $10,000. And keep in mind that the DRT theory, the debt refusion theory, includes monetary integration theory, monetary integration theory. So my DRT theory includes monetary integration theory, which is exactly the financial theory which was implemented in the European Union. Right? In the European Union. They implemented monetary integration theory, which is the financial theory which they implemented in the European Union. So monetary integration theory is what the Germans, the Italians, the French got rid by destroying their national central banks. Many countries in Europe destroyed their old national central banks. The national central banks of Germany exist no more since more than 25 years. Since the 90s, more than 25 years ago, right? So they do no longer have a central bank. They have a common currency and a common European central bank. They created the ECB. So my DRT theory contains monetary integration theory. So here it is. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt, including my $10,000, coast to coast, all the public and the private debt to Canada. We're going to convert it to US dollars, because the United States dollar is the currency of choice for world trade, international business, global export, tourism, international affairs and diplomacy and tourism, and the likes of economic, financial, commerce. So we're going to convert all the public and the private debt, all that debt converted to US dollars, Canada first, preferably binational, like the National Hockey League and the PVHL, Professional Women's Hockey League. All that money is going to be the initial money supply for a new central bank. All the public-private debt will be the initial money supply for a new central bank. We're going to create a new currency called the UE, based on the value of the US dollar. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The UE. We're going to create the universal exchange unit. We're going to create the universal exchange unit, set an interest rate level of 10% thereafter maximum. Going to be a new financial reset in the financial system. 10% on all loans, thereafter 10%. It could be 3.33, 1.56, 6.1, 9.3, 7.18 and such below 10. Let's see the moment of truth. Nobody's at the gym but me. Nobody's at the gym, maybe somebody there will come. Okay. So we're going to take all the public and the private debt. All that debt, we're going to create a new currency, which we're going to call the UE, the Universal Exchange Unit. The Universal Exchange Unit, the UE. The Universal Exchange Unit. It's cold today, so it's understandable. Yeah. I just got my feet again. I know myself. So UE, the creation of the UE. the universal exchange unit. So we're gonna create the universal exchange unit with all that money, that public-private debt. That's gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank. That's gonna be the initial money supply for a new central bank. And we're gonna set an interest rate level percent. So it's gonna be 10% maximum on all loans thereafter. It's gonna be 10%. It could be less, not more. With all that money, we're gonna rebuild the North American collective infrastructure, the North American collective infrastructure of North America. So we're gonna do a lot of rebuilding there. So we're gonna rebuild that. So that's gonna be a lot of rebuilding. So that's gonna be a lot of rebuilding of that, you know. So that's what we're gonna be doing. So we're gonna rebuild the infrastructure of North America. We're gonna be building more construction workers. We're gonna be rebuilding construction. We're gonna be rebuilding. We're gonna do a lot of good with the money. We're gonna do lots of good with that money. We're gonna do lots of good with that money. We're gonna be doing lots of good. So all that money converted into US dollars. Converted into US dollars. Is gonna be the initial money supply. So all the public and the private debt converted to US dollars. Converted from US dollars, you know, that's gonna be it, you know, so that's gonna be it. So that's gonna be it. So all the public and the private debt, that's gonna be all the debt. So I'm just gonna go a little bit around about and just gonna go put some here in the recycling. Let's see if we got some recycling, and we're gonna go around and come work out a bit. I guess we can do some Dragon versus Trump and finish discussing my DRT theory. See if it's got some recycling. Which one's for recycling? I'm not sure. Oh, maybe this one. Gotta do a triage. Anyway, I left the bottles there, and I guess we're gonna have to do a little bit of work there to recycle them properly. 'Cause I'm not sure if I will put them in there. I just don't want to forget them there, the bottles, and whatever the case may be. But this one, I guess we can discard. Let's go. Let's make a tour and consecrate and discuss again the DRT. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. So here I'm at the public gym, solo, but I guess I got my future family, pledge your allegiance. Here you can work out, train, exercise. And the DRT, debt refusion theory, my brothers and sisters, is the only solution. You can argue all you will, but there's no solution but the DRT theory, the debt refusion. And this is a new building here. Construction workers help support. Let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. Let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. Let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum. Let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum together on the Canadian-US border. Let's build the Forgotten Goddess Temple, the Forgotten Goddess Temple, my pyramid, scarlet, red, crimson, scarlet, red, crimson, scarlet, red, crimson. Scarlet and crimson are shades of red. Let's build it on the Mountain Mount Royal, and the fourth building, which I will to build, the Rainbow Peoples, Rainbow Nations, House of the Rainbow Nation for my fellow LGBTQ community, the House of the Rainbow Nation for my fellow LGBTQ community, the House of the Rainbow Nation for my fellow LGBTQ community. That's my four. Forgotten Goddess Temple on the Canadian-US border, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the Forgotten Goddess Temple for the DGA dancing. It's my favorite sport, and the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, Forgotten Goddess Temple, House of the Dragon, GODDSS, Forgotten Goddess, North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, you know, the North American People's Imperial Coliseum on the Canadian-US border. Let's get for that Dragon versus Trump. support. I've been calling for Donald Trump to fight me in a boxing match ever since 2018 in spring. It's gonna be 7 years soon. That's when Donald Trump and Trump administration imposed tariffs on the Canadian aluminum and steel, tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel, tariffs on Canadian aluminum and steel. 10% just on aluminum and steel, and now it's a threat of imposing 25% on all ALL goods. 25% on all, this time all ALL, not just aluminum and steel. 25% on all ALL goods, which is quite a considerable amount. Thinking about it. Watch it. There's like a hole there, so if you go there, best stick on the standard margin, because I almost tripped. Kind of like a trap, I guess. Kind of like a trap, but I guess I ensconced it, because I went in, but if I would have ran, I would have probably tripped and potential injury, so best you stay on the main road. And you can see it's not visible because of the snow. It looked kind of regular, so just a little bit, traps. Here it is, beautiful light downtown. You saw where the gym is, the gymnasium, Gotta get it for that gym, and I'm gonna get a little bit of that where I can see where it is for me to put in recycling, because I've been carrying this because I didn't want to discard it, so this is recyclable. So this best to be putting it. See, it has the recyclable little three arrows. We gotta get it on the go. 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 We gotta get it on the go, and we gotta get it on that. So that's the recyclable. So I gotta put it in the recycling. See some recycling bins here. Yeah, perfect. See, it's got the same mark. As this one. So that's what I'm put it. That's what I'm gonna put it right there. I guess it's best to put and close, close it, so that's it. Did a little bit of recycling. Well, there's a lot here, so a little bit of recycling, public recycling. Thank you, public workers in North America who pick up the recycling and the garbage and the sanitation. It's a lot of work, a lot of labor. Gotta meditate on that privilege. Civilization is a privilege. The privilege of civilization. That was my thesis back in 2023. Electricity, all these lights that you see, including at that public gymnasium. Thank you those workers who put it, and money is to finance to do. My DRT theory, create the UE is the best and only solution. You can argue all you want, but the only solution is the creation of the UE for the DRT. And with all that money, the public-private debt, which we're going to convert into the initial money supply, which we're going to convert into the initial money supply for a new central bank of North America, just parallel to what the ECB did, the European Central Bank, to what the ECB, the European Central Bank did, prior to what the ECB, the European Central Bank did. We're going to create the UE, the U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot U unit. The UE, U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The U dot universal, E dot exchange, U dot unit. The universal exchange rate based on the value of the US dollar. With all that money, we're going to be able to build more hydroelectric dams. Here in Quebec, we're going to build 44 tunnels, build 44 tunnels, construct and build 44 tunnels in case of a thermonuclear war for the continuity of the North American civilizational complex based on the Montreal City, underground city, on the Montreal City, so we got to do that. So it's something which we got to be meditating on that. And sometimes again, and with that being stated, and another one is going to be a meditation to also construct the rebuilding of the infrastructure of North America, the highways, the bridges, the railroads, the highways, the bridges, the railroads of North American Collective, the highways, the bridges, the roads. We got that CP, Canadian Pacific, CN. We got the merger now of the Canadian Pacific, Kansas City, Canadian CP, KC, CPKC. The CPKC, Canadian Pacific, Canadian National, the biggest rail merger in North America first. First time now we can reach Canada, United States, Mexico integrated railroads. Canada, United States, Mexico integrated railroads. Canada, United States integrated railroads. Canada, United States integrated railroads. You know, I learned some Spanish in the past more than 7 years in my underground room house in Tempo. That's been Spanish, you know. Spanish and French and English, French, Spanish, English, French, Spanish. For more than 7 years I go here in Montreal, Hawk Island, my life in past lives and previous incarnations. We're going to get that Canada, US, and also invite Mexico for the UE and other countries of Haiti, Jamaica. You know. Cuba is a paradox. It's socialist communist, but it's part of North America. You know, it's part of North America. Cuba's part of North America, you know. So that's what we gotta be doing, and that's what we gotta be meditating. So Cuba and North America, they're part of the complex, you know. So I gotta be watching, because if the dog approaches me and is not on a leash, I tend to sneeze. From certain breeds of dogs, if they get too close, I get allergic reaction. But not from poodles. So if it's like a poodle, it's fine. I can pet. Poodles I love and I can pet. I love the dogs, but otherwise from afar, because if they get too close, like you see on a past video, I was atop the mountain and a very furry with thick length of the fur came close, and I sneezed like 5 times in a row, like just a few months ago. I think it was spring of this year. And I came close and I started sneezing. Achoo. So I gotta just be mindful of that. But I let people know, or citizens know, please, I have some allergies to certain dogs, and except for poodles, I can pet all day without any allergic reaction. It's just certain dogs, it depends on the thickness of the fur, you know. That's what it is with that, and I gotta be mindful with that. So we gotta get doing with that, you know. So I just gotta be mindful of that aspect. That's what it is. So besides that, I'm okay, you know. Just playing there, but unless there's children is best on a leash. But I understand if you can go in a dog park. I think there's a dog park here. Just careful with children, you know, because maybe like on the mouth cover, you know, so I cannot bite just in the public. But I understand you want to play, it's okay, but it's only the children, you know. If it's only the children. Me, if I get bitten, you know, I survived being surprise attacked, hit my head and had dislocated shoulder, and was attacked several times by surprise, and in the past got lots of trauma, lots of scars, and they tried to take me out. I survived a lot, so I'm hypervigilant. I'm just hypervigilant. I do not like violence, though. I do not like violence and aggression and intensity. I'm Asperger's. People ask me, we can be very intense, but I don't like violence. I just am hypervigilance, but I use aggression and violence only strictly for defense. We're gonna play that defense only. Dragon Army, North American Integree Security and Service Force, North Americans Unite. We're gonna play that D. Rebuild the North American ghettos. We're gonna play that D. Rebuild the North American ghettos. Mass financing the rebuilding of the inner cities of North America, aka the ghettos, and we're gonna reconcile here, you know, in North America, and mass finance citizens, mass finance fitness, and physical activity, and we're gonna get that building of the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, and I guess I can do a little bit of workout now and training. I did kind of like a consecration. Thank you to the workers who built this, who donated, and I will to volunteer to build water faucet. You know, to build a water faucet takes public works. I guess we can get it from anywhere, public workers, or the city where those underground sewers are like this, and we can link it, and right there in the middle I can give some muscle to do whatever needs to be done, because public workers know, and I guess we can just draw from that building or from any building, I guess, to get running water, you know. That's what I will to do. So the DRT, debt refusion theory, is the only solution, brothers and sisters. The DRT is the only solution. There's no other solution but the DRT, the debt refusion theory for the creation of the UE Universal Exchange Unit. You can argue that's the solution, you know, and that's what we must do. Here it is. Yours truly, the DRT debt refusion theory. We're gonna take all the public and the private debt. We're gonna create the universal exchange, and we're gonna create the universal exchange, and I'll be doing a little bit of, not too much. I'm just gonna do some pull-ups. You know, put this down here. I'm gonna do some pull-ups over there. Again, the debt refusion theory, which includes monetary integration theory for the creation of the universal exchange unit, is the only solution to build more tunnels and also mass financing the building of the infrastructure. More houses. That's what it is. Since I'm not sure that there is a just gonna put this in the cycle. Just gonna put these to recycle, you know. Put these to recycle. Put that to recycle. And this one I'm gonna, I don't know. This one I'm gonna throw away. No food waste, please. No food waste, please. I would have kept it World War III scenario. I would have kept it World War III scenario, but I know it's frozen. And I got food at home, but it's gonna be in the garbage and get a little bit of that. Get it from there, you know. So that's what it is with that. And let's go work out, train, exercise, and working out, training, exercising right here. I guess we can do a little bit of, want to do some pull-ups. I guess I can put the camera, well, right there. Put my backpack, you know, which, actually I can put it maybe on my backpack best right here. So I had the backpack is about 22 pounds, something like that, 22 pounds, you know, maybe. XYZ with that, so yeah, let's get some of that. I guess we're already warmed up and put upper body. Always good for those squats. Let's go SQATS, squats, squats, squats. I don't want to get too hot. If I get too hot, HOT. Let's get it on and gonna get it for that workout. Thank you to my anonymous friend for this beautiful, although secondhand, nice jacket. Blue, blue, blue. I love blue. I love red, my favorite color, but also for this gift, this bag, I'm auctioning it for a million. Gonna give half, 50% to my anonymous friend, and here we are in Montreal, Hawk Island, Montreal. Let's go. We're gonna give it for the rock and roll. For the butchers, bakers, nurses, doctors, grocery store clerks, firefighters, farmers, LOV. We're gonna get for that DRT, debt refusion theory, and let's go. Give me some Hawks, HAWK, Hawks. On the toe we go, Hawks. Launch those HAWK, turn your heads left or right. As we go, lift all the way. We're gonna get that rock on that roll. Let's do some push-ups. Push-ups are always good. Say LOV push-ups. LOV. Push-ups, LOV. Push-ups. L-O-V. LOV push-ups. We got a chain freestyle workout. I don't know how many pounds this is, but you can go get some up to do some biceps, you know. But for the upper body, because we train marching here and marching back, I still have to march back about 2 hours, minimum 2 hours from here to my place. My underground lair out west. A lot of miles, a lot of kilometers, so I'm marching the upper body, so we're gonna focus on the upper body. We're gonna get some of those. Let's try to get to the highest. Not gonna slip and fall. Let's go on the toes, fly FLY. Fly high, hawk. And so we gotta do HAWK. On the toes we go for the LOV, and that's what we gotta get doing with that. And we gotta get doing on the go, you know, so that's what we gotta get doing. Always rock and roll. Always good for jab, jab, left, right. Dragon versus Trump. Let's build the North American People's Imperial Coliseum, the Forgotten Goddess GODDSS, Forgotten Goddess Temple on the Canadian-US border, the Pyramid, House of the Dragon, Scarlet, Red, Crimson, House of the Dragon, Scarlet, Red, Crimson, and parallel with that, the Rainbow People's Palace, the Rainbow People's Palace. Hands up, let's go. Dragon versus Trump, let your legions support the dream for the North American Collective Union, the North American Union of our Democratic Republic. The king is absent, the king is absent, the king is absent, my friends. It's time for the North American Security and Service Defense Force, the North American Defense Force, the Canadian Republican Democratic Force, Canadian Republican Army, Security Service Defense coast to coast, based on my Total Mobile Defense Theory, TMDT, Operation Northern Scorpio. Right here on the TMDT, we gotta get doing. We gotta get doing. And sometimes you just gotta start your fitness journey today, you know. Always joyous, and when I work out, train, exercise, I feel good, you know. When I work out, train, exercise, I feel good, and I feel good when I work out, train, exercise. It is, has been, it will be my medicine and therapy of choice. You know, has been, is, it will be my medicine and therapy of choice. This Aspie, independent athlete, independent artist, independent philosopher, and great geopolitical theoretical analyst and theorist. And when you're on that geopolitics, you know, you got to know warfare, and politics, and of course defense and mobile. Total, my theory known as the T, total mobile TM, total mobile defense theory, got to be applied across North America. Let's go, NORAD. Public Private Punch, support of creation of the Dragon Army, aka the North American Citizen Integrated Security Service and Defense Force only, and the Dancing Goddess Army, the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, the DGA, the Dancing Goddess Army, the DGA, you know. That's what we're gonna try doing. That's what we're gonna go doing with that. Gotta get doing on those goes, and let's go for that hawk, HAWK, HAWK. That's what we gotta go doing. Hawk on the hawk on the hawk. HAWK, we gotta go spread those wings all the way to the sky. FLY, 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 fly. We gotta get on that fly, and sometimes you gotta just be, and sometimes you gotta do more pull-ups. Pull-ups is in the menu. Let's go. We gotta do it. So take these two. We gotta get it on the do, and we gotta get it on the go. So we gotta get doing here. Not too stable for my taste, but maybe for the weight. Let's go. Whew. I feel like going one day to the mountain, one day here, one day to the river. That's gonna be a little bit, although it's gonna be still routine because it's Still geopolitics 24/7, dancing, fitness, and rock and roll, dancing, fitness, rock and roll. Still gonna be on the go, but that's what it is, that's what it is. That's what it is with that, so that's what it is. That's what it is, man. It's XYZ. Let's go. The only thing I'm really want now is hydration. My bottle's empty. That's why I say I'm willing to build here, but provide some muscle, some volunteering to dig and put and massage, kiss, rock and roll for. To have a water fountain here, to have a water fountain. That's the only thing that's missing. A water fountain, and otherwise we gotta clean it. It's pretty clean, you know. I said to a principal, if I come spend more than an hour here, I'm gonna sweep. If I come and spend more than an hour here, I'm gonna sweep. If I spend more than an hour here, I'm gonna sweep myself. So this one supposedly is 50 pounds. That's what it says on it. 22 kilos, 50 pounds, wow. See? 50 pounds, 50 pounds. Interesting. Let's see. Yeah. 50 pounds, yeah. Yeah. Yeah, 50 pounds. Yeah. Whew. That's what it is. Let's go for that. Woo. 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 Can I do some more of that? What are these? Oh, these are for push-ups. For push-ups. Let's do some more push-ups, see? Yeah. Oh yeah. Alrighty. That's what it is with that here. One last time. Let's go. Right here. Ah. Now I gotta head back. It's still my workout hasn't finished. It's gonna be another minimum 2 hours, eh? My 5-hour workouts, marching workouts. I guess already marched and more than the generals of NATO combined today. Auctioning this backpack for $1 million. Gonna give 50% out to my anonymous friend. Let's go. Put it on the back. One more all dressed up, I guess. Last one all dressed up. Okay. Deal. The last one. I said last one before, but now we got the backpack. Cause working out with Rite-Dragon is overtime. Every time is overtime. OT overtime. Every time is overtime. Every time. You already know the rock and roll song North America's Unite. Dragon versus Trump. Let's get it. But the backpack is different. And now to that French cause we're in la belle province. Thank you for those who build it. Et bienvenue. Ensemble de rock'n'roll, merci pour ceux qui ont construit bâti le gymnase. Je vais faire du bénévolat pour planter vers la plantation. D'un puits d'eau inconduite, une fontaine d'eau. Je suis prêt à faire du bénévolat pour construire la fontaine d'eau. Ça a été bien sûr avec les travailleurs publics. Puis, bien sûr, je remercie à ceux qui l'ont construit ici. Mais j'en profite, comme vous en profitez vous aussi. Fait que c'est quelque chose qui vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique. Puis, moi, ça fait du bien, mais même s'il n'y a personne aujourd'hui, mais moi, ça ne me dérange pas l'hiver. Il fait froid aujourd'hui, mais ça ne me dérange pas l'hiver. J'aime bien l'hiver. Puis, je pense qu'à cause que j'ai rencontré Louis VII dans une autre vie, vous savez que moi, je suis mystique, je crois dans la réincarnation, mais des fois, j'étais né homme-femme. Maintenant, vous avez moitié-moitié, 50-50. Votre dragon arc-en-ciel, mais des fois, messieurs, madame, des fois, parfois, et des fois. Messieurs, madame, parfois, des fois, messieurs, madame, c'est bien sûr ici. Merci, ceux qui ont bâti le public. Et je vous encourage à faire l'entraînement physique québécoise. Puis le chiffre d'ici jusqu'à chez nous, ben, c'est encore de marche, plus que 2 heures. Puis mon entraînement physique n'est pas fini. Encore une fois, je vous encourage à l'entraînement physique québécoise. Et je vais chanter du rock'n'roll. Puis je vous appelle à bien sûr soutenir la théorie de la refusion de la dette pour la création de l'unité universelle. Puis faisons un passeport commun. Faisons une monnaie d'échange commune, l'unité d'échange universelle, basée sur ma théorie de la refusion de la dette, qui est la seule et unique solution. C'est un paradoxe, mais vu en fait, bien sûr, que vous avez fait pour la théorie théorie de la refusion de la dette, bien sûr, que ça fasse l'entraînement physique, puis là, ça me donne l'espoir, que je vois du monde comme ça se garder par la main, se tenir par la main, parce que c'est pas juste se battre, là, pas juste se battre, tu sais, puis la force puis la puissance, il faut avoir aussi un balance, la compassion, la bonté, des choses comme ça, en parallèlement, bien sûr, mais parallèle à qu'est-ce qu'on a comme civilisation, c'est un privilège, hein? La civilisation, c'est un privilège, c'est ça, en 2023 que j'ai présenté, puis en tant qu'aspi, j'ai l'autisme mouvement fonctionnel, je suis moins capable dans certaines circonstances des interactions sociales, puis j'ai bien sûr des empêchements, si je peux dire, de certains, je suis moins capable dans certaines choses que la majorité des citoyens, de mes concitoyens, mais pas en géopolitique, pas en rock'n'roll, pas en l'entraînement physique, puis la danse c'est mon sport préféré, puis la danse c'est le sport préféré que je préfère moi-même, donc c'est des choses que je dois faire quand même un effort pour savoir des interactions sociales à cause de cette neurodivergence, aussi connue comme l'autisme monophasique, l'Asperger's, puis je dois remercier mon ami anonyme qui mérite d'être 7 fois plus riche que Céline, qui m'a donné en cadeau un livre, trois déjà, mais un prix, là, puis sur l'Asperger's, que depuis plus que 46 mois, quasiment 46 mois, parce que ça faisait bien des années, plus que 7, qu'on m'avait diagnostiqué plusieurs citoyens, puis docteur en ligne, puis docteur, puis on m'a diagnostiqué, mais j'ai pas accepté, puis finalement, j'ai dit, ben oui, j'ai 93% des caractéristiques. J'utilise pas le mot symptôme. Parce que symptôme, c'est comme une maladie, mais c'est pas une maladie dans le sens de maladie mentale, mais c'est juste une condition de neurodivergence. Ça fait que ma condition de neurodivergence, qui est l'Asperger's, l'autisme monophasique, ça fait que j'ai de la misère dans certaines choses. Je suis peu difficile dans certaines choses, mais ça vient qu'en géopolitique, c'est l'analyse, la théorie 24/24, puis j'ai même prévu la situation qui se déroule en ce moment en 2019, en octobre et en novembre. J'ai prévu une conflagration internationale basée sur des niveaux intenses, puis plus sophistiqués un peu d'analyse, mais pour vous faire un résumé comme je l'ai fait dans des vidéos, c'est que j'ai vu un dénominateur commun, un résumé, c'est que j'avais conclu qu'à cause, bien sûr, que les conflits n'ont pas été capables de se régler, bien sûr, d'avoir des règlements, tu sais. Ils n'ont pas réglé leur compte. Ils n'ont pas réglé leur compte, bien sûr, du 20e siècle. Bien sûr, c'est des choses, bien sûr, qu'ils vont avoir une reprise dans le 21e siècle. Fait qu'en grosse partie, c'est ça qui arrive dans le monde. En Russie, en Ukraine, c'est des conflits qui datent de la guerre froide. C'est des conflits qui n'ont pas été capables de résoudre. C'est des conflits du 20e siècle qui ont repris au 20e siècle, 21e siècle. En Israël, Palestine, Israël, Hamas, Israël, le Moyen-Orient, c'est aussi des conflits du 20e siècle qui ont repris avec intensité. En potentiel, la Chine puis le Taïwan, c'est encore durant la guerre froide puis le temps de Mao Tse-tung, qui a établi la République populaire de la Chine. J'avais prévu ça. J'avais prévu, puis j'ai même j'ai créé un propre système d'entraînement physique. J'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique qui ne requiert aucun équipement, puis qui est dédié, bien sûr, à y aller avec une telle situation de conflagration internationale. Puis la géopolitique, j'en fais. Moi-même. C'est la géopolitique. C'est l'entraînement physique que je le fais, mais je vous encourage tous. J'ai fait appel depuis des années au financement, bien sûr. Finançons les gens à faire de l'entraînement physique. Bien sûr, finançons les gens à faire de l'entraînement physique. Il faut construire 44 tunnels à travers l'Amérique du Nord pour, bien sûr, dans le cas d'une guerre thermonucléaire. C'est super important pour la continuité de la survie du collectif nord-américain. C'est des théories et des philosophies que j'avais composées moi-même dans les années passées. Ben des théories, ben des analyses. Puis oui, j'ai souffert beaucoup avec mon autisme, mon enfant, à cause de l'Asperger's. J'ai eu de l'emploi, j'ai bien aimé l'emploi que j'ai eu pendant la COVID, mais ça a duré un couple de semaines, un couple de mois, parce que c'est une conditions de neurodivergence, que je dois faire la gestion de mes caractéristiques. C'est pas des symptômes, mais ça peut que c'est possible qu'on offense des gens parce que il faut juste comprendre c'est quoi ma condition de neurodivergence, parce que je veux pas offenser. C'est pas parce qu'on veut offenser, c'est juste que des fois on est trop direct, puis on peut être direct ou on peut avoir l'air très offensif, mais c'est pas parce qu'on veut l'être, c'est juste qu'on comprend pas certaines choses, des interactions sociales, fait que c'est juste ça. Mais à part ça, tu sais, on a quand même des forces et des caractéristiques comme que j'avais prévu, qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant en 2019. Ça, j'ai la preuve en ligne. J'ai prévu qu'est-ce qui se passe maintenant en 2019, en octobre-novembre. J'avais prévu une troisième guerre mondiale, une conflagration internationale. Puis c'est ça qui arrive en grosse partie. Je suis vraiment rentré dans la politique en 2018, quand Donald Trump a imposé des tarifs sur l'aluminium et l'acier, 10%. Puis là, j'avais commencé à faire appel pour la construire, bâtir un colisée, bien sûr, que je fais appel pour bâtir le colisée du peuple nord-américain impérial. Le colisée du peuple nord-américain impérial. Le colisée du peuple nord-américain impérial vis-à-vis le temple de la déesse. Oubliez le temple de la déesse, c'est quelque chose que je veux moi-même bâtir avec la maison du dragon, une nouvelle pyramide, ma maison du dragon, pyramide. Écarlate, c'est rouge. Écarlate, c'est juste rouge, ma couleur préférée, vif. Et bien sûr, je veux bâtir aussi. Mais ça va être les travailleurs en construction parce que c'est les autres qui ont le savoir-faire, puis ils vont encourager, puis envoyer nos salutations premièrement. Puis bâtir aussi le temple du peuple impérial avec le palais du colisée du peuple impérial, puis le palais du peuple arc-en-ciel pour ma communauté LGBTQ, donc je fais partie entre un état androgène pansexuel androgène, puis parallèlement une minorité, puis une minorité de neurodivergents, mais ça fait que je suis un individu dans le collectif. Puis pour le français, mais il faut qu'on fasse un effort nous-mêmes, comme je dis, ça prend l'individu aussi. Il faut l'encourager, puis il y a une manière de le faire, tu sais. Puis des fois, tu sais, avec Justin Trudeau, mon cousin, mais là, il y a une nouvelle qu'il va partir, puis je suis en train de faire des analyses là-dessus, puis voir comment on va avec ça. Puis bon, vous savez, je dis le roi est absent. Le roi est absent, c'est le temps pour la République. Je suis pour une union de l'Amérique du Nord, parallèlement à comment ils ont fait en Europe. Les Européens, ça fait longtemps. Les Allemands, les Italiens, les Français ont fait une unité monétaire. Là. Ils n'ont plus de banque centrale nationale. C'est le temps qu'on fasse une monnaie d'échange commune en Amérique du Nord, un passeport commun. C'est le temps de la frontière, puis c'est le temps qu'on fasse un census pour voir les citoyens qui existent en Amérique du Nord et qui sont rentrés depuis plus que 7 ans. Depuis plus que 7 ans, je dis parce que là, c'est là que j'ai traversé le Canada. C'est là que j'ai traversé le Canada en 2017, en août, en Colombie-Britannique. J'étais allé à Vancouver, puis après ça, j'étais allé à Halifax. Et bien sûr, j'étais allé à Halifax. En Nouvelle-Écosse, j'ai traversé le Canada de côte à côte. En traversant le Canada de côte à côte, bien sûr, j'avais conclu. J'ai commencé à faire l'entraînement physique, puis j'ai sorti de ma dépression. Cet événement, ça m'a vraiment changé toute ma vie. Cet événement dans ma vie. En ayant traversé le Canada en 2017, je marquais 7 ans de côte à côte. J'ai établi un esprit de corps solide, bien sûr. Puis en établissant ces esprits de corps solides, mais j'ai commencé à faire l'entraînement physique. J'ai perdu entre 80 et 93 livres. J'ai créé mon propre système d'entraînement physique en 2019. J'ai conclu, puis j'ai prévu la situation actuelle d'une manière générale, pas à chaque détail, c'est sûr, mais d'une manière générale, à des scénarios à plusieurs niveaux en 2019. Puis j'ai fait des vidéos en ligne vis-à-vis à ça. J'avais conclu qu'on rentre vis-à-vis une conflagration internationale parallèle sur une troisième guerre mondiale. J'ai prévu la situation. Je fais appel pour soutenir mon rêve. Mon rêve, c'est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé, bien sûr. C'est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé, bien sûr. C'est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé. C'est fondamentalement un appel à... c'est fondamentalement un appel à un partenariat public-privé. Et c'est ça, bon, c'est la théorie de la refusion de la dette qu'il faut faire l'implémentation, bien sûr, puis qu'il faut faire l'implémentation, bien sûr, puis c'est ça qu'il faut faire, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, théorie de la refusion de la dette, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, pour prendre toute la dette publique-privée, puis faire, bien sûr, une nouvelle monnaie. Je vous l'explique maintenant, la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, c'est ça vient que j'ai été maudit par l'Asperger's, l'autisme hautement fonctionnel. Mais cette malédiction, ça fait bien sûr, ça donne comme une bénédiction. Cette bénédiction, c'est bien sûr le fait que j'ai la solution pour que j'ai trouvé pour les finances publiques. Pourquoi je me prononce comme ça? C'est vis-à-vis le fait que là, en ce moment, on paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique. 1 milliard 109 0. En 2020-2021, c'était bien sûr 20,3 milliards. C'était 20,3 milliards. C'est qu'on a rendu 46,5 milliards juste payer l'intérêt sur la dette publique. Juste payer l'intérêt sur la dette publique. Juste le paiement de l'intérêt sur la dette publique, c'est plus que double. Là. C'est plus que double. Imaginez-vous, là, c'est plus que double. Imaginez-vous, là, c'est plus que double. Payer l'intérêt seulement. Fait que là, la TRD, la théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça sort la malédiction de l'Asperger's que je vis avec. Puis bien sûr, en ayant cette malédiction, ça a des bénédictions parce que mes intérêts qu'on appelle obsessifs, que moi je préfère utiliser le mot spéciaux, que oui, bien sûr, je suis super concentré puis super intense quand je fais des études puis je les analyse, qui se passent au quotidien, 24/24 quasiment, l'analyse de la théorie en géopolitique puis l'analyse, la révision des événements géopolitiques majeurs, puis du passé, puis du présent, puis du potentiel futur. Et bien sûr, là, on paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts sur la dette publique. T'imagines? C'est allé de 20,3 fois 2, ça aurait été 40,6. C'est 46,5. C'est 46 milliards. 46 milliards. C'est tellement un chiffre énorme, là, imaginez-vous, si vous payez d'intérêt seulement 156 $ en 2021, puis là, vous êtes rendu à payer plus que double, soit 333. Juste l'intérêt sur la dette. Imagine, moi, comme citoyen, imagine que ça aurait doublé, là, le montant d'intérêt que je paye sur la dette. Que moi, j'ai dit 11%, j'ai pas de carte de crédit, mais j'ai pas de carte de crédit moi-même, j'ai une ligne de crédit. Je paye 11% d'intérêt, mais imaginez-vous qu'en 2020-2021, j'aurais payé 156, juste l'intérêt, pas le principal, pas le principe de la dette, juste l'intérêt qu'on paye. Mettons sur vos cartes de crédit, vous-même, en tant que citoyen, sur vos cartes de crédit, imaginez ça. Fait que là, si ça aurait doublé, mais vos salaires ne doublent pas. Vos salaires, il aurait peut-être augmenté en 3 ans de 5 à 10%, peut-être 15%, mais pas double, pas 100%, là. Fait que là, il va falloir que vous coupez, hein. Comme ça, les services publics, ceux qui ramassent les poubelles, merci beaucoup, je vous aime, amour, les poubelles, là, tous ces services publics, la sécurité publique, les prisons, tout ça, ben c'est les services publics. On peut se réveiller demain avec une crise financière dès que Trump y rentre. Le 20 janvier matin, on peut voir. T'sais, c'est possible qu'on voie. C'est possible qu'on aille à un collapse du système public, des finances publiques canadiennes. C'est un scénario extrême, là, mais c'est possible. Fait que la TRD, c'est la seule et unique solution. Donc la TRD, théorie de la refusion de la dette, ça contient la théorie d'intégration monétaire. On va prendre toute la dette publique-privée, inclus en monte 10 000 à la Banque Royale. Tout cet argent-là, on va faire la conversion de toute la dette publique-privée canadienne dans la devise des États-Unis. Fait qu'on va convertir toute la dette publique-privée dans la devise des États-Unis. Tout cet argent-là, toute la dette publique, on va faire la création d'une nouvelle monnaie. Ça va fonder l'argent initial, on va faire comme en Europe, on va faire la création d'une banque centrale nord-américaine, puis pour l'Amérique du Nord, Canada, premièrement, États-Unis en même temps, comme la Ligue de hockey national, l'établissement de la Ligue de hockey national, on va faire cette création de cette nouvelle monnaie qu'on va appeler UE. En anglais, c'est pareil, on ne s'ostinera pas. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. L'unité, salut! U point unité, E point, on fait un beau sourire, je pense que on s'est déjà rencontrés dans le passé, mais merci pour le sourire, j'apprécie ça. Puis, je sais que des fois, comme mes gestes, puis la manière que je marche, ça peut amener, j'aime ça que vous riez, donne la permission de rire de mes gestes un peu étranges. Puis l'Asperger's, les autistes, on peut être bizarre un peu, on peut marcher d'une manière plus bizarre, puis moi je marche danse, là. Et je préfère que vous riez de moi que vous, puis je donne le droit de rire, là. Je veux voir les gens joyeux, là, mais l'unité d'échange universelle, l'unité d'échange universelle, l'unité d'échange universelle parle toute la dette publique-privée. Ici, il faut que je me tourne la tête de la gauche à droite, la gauche à droite, il faut que je vous défends contre Trump. Puis je fais appel pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe. Depuis 2018, là, je commence plusieurs doubles pour me combattre dans un combat de boxe. Je double mes efforts, je dois doubler mes efforts, je dois doubler mes efforts, je dois doubler mes efforts, bien sûr. Je dois doubler mes efforts. Donc, la TRD, la création de l'unité d'échange universelle. Unité d'échange universelle. U point unité. E point échange, U point universel. L'unité d'échange universelle. Toute la dette publique-privée, ça va fonder une nouvelle banque. On va faire la création d'une monnaie, d'une nouvelle monnaie qu'on va appeler l'UI. U point unité, E point échange, U point universel. Oui, on va mettre un taux d'intérêt de 10% maximum. Ça peut être 3,33, 1,56, 9,3, 6,1, 7,18. Avec cet argent-là, on va pouvoir bâtir d'autres centrales d'Hydro-Québec, bâtir les 44 tunnels dans le cas d'une guerre thermonucléaire. On va pouvoir rebâtir l'infrastructure. On va pouvoir financer les gens au tourisme parce que moi, ça fait du bien. On va pouvoir financer les gens en entraînement physique. La TRD, c'est la solution. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. C'est possible un effondrement des finances publiques, les chers, là. C'est possible. Ça a doublé, payer l'intérêt seulement sur la dette publique. Faites les mathématiques. Imaginez-vous, là, dans votre position, que vous payez maintenant double le montant d'intérêt. Il va falloir que vous coupez. Vous allez couper quoi? Vous allez pas pouvoir payer le loyer, vous n'allez pas pouvoir payer d'autres choses, pas payer l'Internet, le téléphone cellulaire, le téléphone intelligent, l'Internet, peut-être tout, peut-être l'Internet, le téléphone cellulaire, puis même l'Hydro-Québec. Si ça double l'intérêt que vous payez depuis 3 ans, si ça double, c'est sûr qu'à cause de la COVID, si on parle de la dette publique, là, on ne parle pas de la dette privée, mais c'est parallèlement, parce que c'est vis-à-vis la même chose, payer l'intérêt seulement de 10%, 11%, mais c'est 22% et plus. Il faut qu'on arrête de plus que 10. C'est pour ça qu'il faut qu'on implémente en Amérique du Nord la TRD, puis qu'on crée une monnaie commune, puis qu'on défende de côte à côte, puis avec le français, bien, on continue à le faire. On va apprendre Trump à chanter les chansons de Céline. On va apprendre Trump à chanter les chansons de Céline. On va apprendre Trump, puis on va se ménager ensemble. On va faire un bon compromis. On a continué de faire de grands compromis linguistiques du français pour avoir la continuité de l'harmonie en Amérique du Nord. Puis avec nos frères et sœurs noirs, des fois, il faut qu'on mette à table quelque chose. Tu sais, mes frères et sœurs noirs, tu sais, 13,3, 13,4% de la population de l'Amérique du Nord. Mes voisins inclus, mais sont noirs. Des fois, il faut mettre, qu'est-ce que j'ai des bisous, des châteaux, du rock'n'roll, mes philosophies, mes initiatives. Tu sais, la défense seulement. Juste la défense seulement, l'établissement de 2 institutions de partenariat public-privé, l'armée du Dragon sur l'armée nord-américaine intégrée de Citoyen de défense, avec l'armée de la déesse qui danse. Pour danser, pour l'environnement. Il n'y a pas d'autre solution. On paye 46,5 milliards d'intérêts, mes chers. C'est plus que double que c'était en 2020-2021, puis la COVID, je l'ai survécu. Je crédite m'avoir survécu, pas à Dieu, cette fois-ci à la déesse. Pas à Dieu, cette fois-ci à la déesse. Je crédite ma survie, cette fois-ci à la déesse. J'ai vécu beaucoup de traumes, je suis hyper vigilant, je n'aime pas la violence, personnellement, je n'aime pas la violence. Je n'aime pas la violence, mais je m'entraîne, je suis intense, je suis concentré, mais la violence sous la défense, puis l'agression sous la défense. Tu sais.